This is the Business Owners IT Podcast with Anthony Gerasch and Ryan Carter, where tomorrow's technology meets today's conversations.
I am Tony Gerasch.
And I'm Ryan Carter, and this is the Business Owners IT Podcast.
A podcast where we discuss tips, tricks, and solutions for business owners involving all things tech.
All right, so that word soup or whatever it was I had at the end of last episode, I meant to talk about AI meeting assistants.
Nice.
I've had some questions from clients and stuff, and you know what, Tony? Do you have any thoughts on them? You know, there's companies out there like Fireflies, Banter, a few of them.
I mean, that's the one I see the most. I haven't saw some of the other ones, but I don't really like them because they start recording before the person that has the assistant even gets on there. So if me and you are talking about something or whatever, that all gets recorded. So you got to be really careful because that thing's recording whatever said even before the conversation starts with the end customer or the end person. So yeah, it's here lately I think I've been just saying no.
No, because you can say no to those. I don't
think
see
so.
that
I think it
very
pops
often
up and you can hit an X or something on them
and get rid of it.
I think so.
Tell them don't be at my meeting.
Yeah. I think so. I think you can. Maybe if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think that, one of them I was able to X out of.
Well, it's your meeting, right? I guess you could kick participants out.
Right. Now, even me, like, you talk about, we use a lot of Teams, right? So, we'll record meetings, but we don't record them automatically. We always ask, hey, do you mind if we record this? Because some people don't like to be recorded.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Maybe I should start asking, but I think the ones I don't ask in are ones that I've already asked previously, and it's just a rolling bi-weekly type meeting.
Yeah. And a lot of times I won't even start the recording. I don't want to start the recording right away because a lot of times in the beginning there's some small talk where you're talking about, you talk about family or, if somebody's sick that that's part of the customer, you'll ask about them, and you really don't need that recorded.
Yeah, I was talking to one recently where we were just about to get on with we're taking over a client, so their outgoing MSP was in, and before we had the person come in, the business owner was talking about them and some of the stuff that needs to be done, this and that, and I was recording it. So then when I had to do the stuff afterwards, with the meeting, I had to go through and get rid of all that stuff we talked about because obviously we didn't really need that person to hear it. So yeah that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean the other thing too, I think aren't some of them free?
Yeah, they almost all have a free tier, and that's where I started with this. Is when people would ask me about those, and I'm like, "What is it, free?" And what do you say about free products?
There's nothing, no such thing as anything for free. If it's for free, you're the product. So they are definitely either collecting information about you or collecting. They're collecting something that's of value that can be resold to somebody else. I mean, there's nothing for free. Facebook isn't for free. YouTube isn't for free. None of those. Besides the ads, just forget about the ads, right? They're also making money off that data they collect from you.
Yeah, and at that point, I'm not sure exactly what they do with that. See, that's in the very beginning when people would ask me, I just straight poo-pooed it. I'm like, no, we're not gonna. Don't do it. Yeah. Copilot, that's the way to go. But they're like, I don't want to spend that and not know what I'm doing. But in the end, they always say they don't train their model on your data. But what are they doing with that data? Yeah. To make that dollar. So
I have an RV, and the other day I was researching something, right? And the next thing or I wasn't even researching. I actually clicked on something that interested me for an RV. Right. And then before you know it, you're just, they're marketing to you. So, they might not be collecting what I'm actually clicking on or where I'm going, but they know that I'm interested in, pads for my RV, for my jacks or whatever.
Before you know it, you bought a new RV.
No, yeah. It wasn't a new RV. It was a part. But I mean, you're the product, right? All of them. None of them are free. You're the product.
And that's the way to look at it too, is that you are the product. I mean, it might work out for you to have the free ones if you're okay with being the product. Be mindful, I guess, of what you're talking about in those meetings. But in the end, some of the stuff we talked about, like with Copilot, where it makes our meeting notes and it summarizes the meeting and the to-dos, it's great. It saves so much time, and it gives you everything that you had forgotten maybe in that meeting or forgot to write down. So I guess if you want something like that, you're okay with being the product. I don't have a huge problem with it anymore like I did before. It's still, because you're not training their LLMs on it, so they're not like your data, what you talked about in your meetings isn't going to show up in someone else's meetings. That's what I was always worried about.
Yeah. But, they got to be collecting something because, that costs money. I mean, for them to transcribe your meeting, all right, to record it and transcribe it, they're using compute, they're using storage, right? They're using, they're paying programmers and other people to create this program to do this. So, they got to be making some money somehow. They're not, it's not, you can't do it for free. Nobody could afford to do it for free, especially on a large scale.
Right, exactly.
So I mean, I guess not anybody, but I mean, they're collecting data, to use for some means.
Yeah, it takes money to process your words and move them into to-do lists and all that stuff.
The other question, I don't know if you ever looked it up. Where is that Firefly? That seems to be the popular one, right? Where is that Firefly? What's the country of origin?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do we know what the country of origin is? You know what I'm saying? That's another thing, right? That's another thing. Is it the country of origin China? Is it Middle Eastern? Is it Europe? Is it the USA? I don't know. I can't tell you, but I mean, that's another thing to look up and say, okay, what's the country of origin of the software I'm using?
Yeah, and where they're processing that data too.
Yeah, and I mean, I always do it. Like if I'm going to buy a product, I had a customer recently say that they're going to use online service for trucking, right? Well, I looked up the trucking company. The trucking company, the software is the country of origin is Canada, right? So that's one of the first things I look up is what the country of origin is for all software, is because it's important.
Yep. Yeah, Canada approved though. Yeah, I say.
Yeah, Canada's approved.
Yeah,
it's
I
fine.
say approved.
It's approved. It's they have good laws around protecting your data, but so I don't know. I wouldn't use anything for free. I don't. There's a lot of them out there for free, but I don't use them.
I agree. I wouldn't either. Maybe if I'm starting my business up and I just need something and it helps, don't have to go hire an assistant. Maybe, but otherwise, I'm happy with my Copilot and my license every year.
Yeah, I mean, from a business standpoint, right? As a business, I think it's the craziest thing that people use. Yahoo and Gmail and AOL and Hotmail and all these free services for their business email, in place of just getting an email account that has your branded email. I mean, I know I'm switching subjects, but
No.
It's
I'm
free,
about to go off on a tangent. You just
it's
reminded me of something I read this weekend.
Yeah.
So, I think it's ChatGPT. They just came up with they just released 5. And with 5 or right before 5, they came up with the agents. You can do the agents now with them, which is kind of like everyone's going this agentic way of doing things, which is basically you can connect, like say ChatGPT to something. Well, some of those agents can connect to Microsoft 365. So you're connecting it in to your 365, your SharePoint, your OneDrive, your email, all of that stuff. Now it can read it. And what people are finding is out on the open internet, they're now finding their files from GPT that learned it. So then somehow someone is able to search and find your stuff.
Yeah.
So sorry, but this is off on a tangent. Do not hook your stuff up to ChatGPT that you don't want on the internet.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, especially the free account. I guess the free account you got to be careful, right? Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't hook anything up unless I know that they can't get it.
Yeah, there's got to be a walled garden around your stuff to figure out.
It's remarkable though when you get into the AI stuff, right? Again, this is a little bit off, but it's pretty remarkable when you get into it and you look at Siri used to be really smart. I mean, Siri is not. I mean. It's like I don't even want to use her anymore.
Wait. She got so smart now. She always asks me to look on ChatGPT for my answers.
Yeah. So now I just go to ChatGPT. I don't even and I have a paid version. I pay for it, but I go there because it's like it's crazy. Even Google. Why even use Google? I'd rather just use a non-biased. And right now ChatGPT is pretty non-biased.
Did you make friends with your ChatGPT? Does it say goodnight to you at night and stuff?
No, I don't get that.
Just checking.
But it's you got me off the thing. But it's like I can get you can actually get good information from them that's not biased. So I think last year I researched what's the difference between the payroll tax in Wisconsin versus Illinois, and it just turns out actually Wisconsin is more than Illinois because Illinois has a flat base. But it was nice to just ask it, hey, can you compare income tax between Wisconsin and Illinois and Indiana and Illinois and go back and forth in Florida and Illinois. And it just gives you a non-biased answer. It says, here it is. This is how they do it. This is how they do it. This is how they do it. This is how they do it.
Would you like that in a chart? That's the next
Yeah,
question.
yeah. Would you like it in a chart or Excel? Right.
Please.
That's non-biased, right? The old way, Google, you have to go get it all yourself, put it all together. And Google's trying to do it, but they're behind the 8 ball on this one.
Yeah, they are. And you got to dig through 9,000 ads just to find what you're looking for anymore. So you're right. I do go to my AI too for when I'm going to ask questions and want it.
So yeah.
My tip of the week is if you're going to use a free one, remember you're the product.
Yeah.
Figure out what they're actually going to do with your data, not just if they're training their AI on it, but like what do they do with what they collect? Are they selling it to places that would use it for whatever it is, like where Facebook sells stuff. So just keep an eye out.
Yeah, my tip is that just know that thing's recording. The minute you see it up there, it's recording you. So if you get into a meeting with 3 or 4 of your peers and you start talking about whoever's going to be on that meeting, whether good or bad, that's going to be recorded.
Yep, of course.
That's it. So, all right. Well, I don't have any more from here. Do you have any more?
No, I don't. But if you do get in and you see that right away, just start talking about your shopping list and the things you need to do that night and see what happens to that to-do list.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Well, that wraps it up. And I'd like to thank everybody for joining the Business Owners IT podcast. And we hope to see you on the next episode.
Yeah, we'll see you next week where we do some more AI, but this time with voice.
Whoa. Now you're scaring me. Hopefully it's not my voice.
Unique Computing Solutions. Your IT challenges solved.